Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Price. We are at pivotal energies in actually the next few months. This month, definitely a lot of interesting energies. And of course, I'm speaking about the energetic aspects of this, although who knows what craziness will occur on the world stage. But as we integrate more of a conscious interaction with the subtle aspects of life, we're actually integrating the physical shifts that are affecting the light body and then the physical body, affecting the inner realm and then affecting the outer realm. In this year of the conduit, as the world goes through such intense changes, this year is actually about strengthening our conduit, supporting the physical vessel to sustain the creative force more easily. And that word force is going to come up quite a bit throughout here, but sustaining that creative force more easily so that the loving light workers get more of their energy into this world instead of reacting with unhealthy or unconscious resistance and fear. And of course, not all resistance is unhealthy, only when you're focusing too much on negativity that's outside of your control without any action. And this is why Ariane constantly has said, you don't just take something in, it becomes part of your energy. So, what are you going to do with that information? That's our light work to go through the authentic emotions of whatever we're experiencing or observing, and then hold that loving potential. Now, let's get right into the energies because there are actually some layers to it. It's actually an unusual way for Ariane to frame them, but the message is important. And it also makes so much sense as we move into the Lionsgate energies. And then, of course, the September eclipses that they've talked about since March. And of course, while it will sound kind of like a negative focus, I'm going to talk about the positive of it as well, because of course it applies. It's like two sides of one coin. The ascension topic this month is the death cycle withering, meaning there is a tipping point or a critical mass potential that's happening on an energetic level that releases humanity from living predominantly within a death cycle, within systems that don't support our creative life flow. Now, it doesn't mean that all of this is going to change overnight. It doesn't mean that we won't still have transition out of physical, that we won't still have death. This is still fourth density. And that transition takes much longer for the collective. What it means is that we are releasing binds that have kept humanity asleep, unaware, lacking access to our divine creative birthright on many levels, steeped in fear and manipulation and the greed that creates suppression and an overall sense of those winners and losers duality rather than the win-win dynamics. And again, this isn't an overnight process, but as that energetic flow starts to really support our blossoming, we are the forerunners of that energy, that we hold those potentials, knowing that with everything that we're seeing that looks so challenging and sinister at times, that we are holding those potentials, knowing that there's something else that's building as the purging occurs and that old releases its control. Now, on the world stage, we're already seeing this as the collective blinders are releasing from the war and suppression machines, the lies and the manipulation that's being revealed, the compromise systems that have been in place for a long time that we've likely been aware of for a very long time. And now more people are waking up to. Or even playing two sides against each other, winners and losers, friend and foe. two sides when there really isn't two opposite sides. There's just the illusion of two, or maybe it's the wrong two that are being used as a distraction. All of these keep people in a duality mindset of either or, and that creates that sense of hopelessness and feeling like the system is too big to overcome. That is the death cycle that is withering. So, in essence, we are seeing more of a culmination of the imbalanced ones that have been leading our societies, our businesses, our rules for so long. The narcissists, those that don't have the empathy to create a system that works for all, they have more of those sociopathic tendencies. Those that have generally been leading humanity since our recorded history, we're seeing them not be able to contain and hide their lies, hide the degradation, even the sinister actions in many cases. That is the death cycle that's withering. The masks are coming off. More and more people are waking up. And here we are, light workers, with our coffee, fair trade tea, welcoming them. And of course, remember that some people are Krabby Patties when they first wake up. It's confusing and it can be something that kind of feels like something big in negative is actually waking up, but it's actually what's falling. And we're continuing our light work as we've been preparing for years, decades, lifetimes sometimes, sustaining our conduits of love as the spiral tightens and stirs up all of this massive change that we are seeing on so many levels. As the death cycle withers, love becomes more and more accessible to more and more people. This is the spring of humanity, us blossoming. Now, the details of what that looks like is specific to each person and it changes through their moments. This is still the density realm of change. But I want to detail some of the death cycle withering so that you're observing some of the ways that this may be coming up for you to weave more life affirming energy into your life. That's our creative force. Now, of course, death applies, and my goodness, prayers for more love and peace on earth and for less senseless death here, But the death cycle in general is part of this density realm, something we have to all face in different ways, from our own mortality, family members, animals that we love, animals that are eaten by humans or even other animals. Coming to terms with the reality of death in this density is part of what we have to experience here and become more neutral, more balanced about, which does not mean that you don't care. It doesn't mean there's no emotion. It means that you're being authentic with that whole process. It doesn't mean that you accept or allow atrocities or negative things to occur. It means that through all of those ups and downs and the actions that are taken because of all of that, that you're also observing with a broader awareness and not just polarizing into imbalance or contraction of feeling that everything is so far out of control that there's no hope, or that other imbalance and polarization trying to control everyone around you. It means you do the healing work as appropriate. It means you do the light work of moving through the realities of this experience and weaving more life affirming love into everything. Healthy choices create deep and meaningful change, and unhealthy control creates resistance cycles, even if it's not obvious in the moment. That's what it creates. Now, of course, there are many synonyms for death cycles that are withering, like relaxing through endings as much as possible, because they are also beginnings. So even as it's something that, like a job change, a location change, relationship changes, a birth of a child brings an ending to how life was before that sweet blessing. Endings always overlap with new beginnings. It's just a function of linear time. And as light workers, we work to hold those potentials and the possibilities that are aligned with more love, that are aligned with what we want to create and experience, the being, the change that we want to experience in the world. We're aware and we're focusing on those positive potentials and using our vast, subtle power to hold that resonance so that it can anchor here on earth and it can manifest into the physical realm through you, through others, and through time. That is the power of our awareness. It's why Ariane starts every channeling talking about our awareness and why it's so important, even though it can seem like there's so much negativity going on. Indeed, there is. But it's important that it's coming into people's awareness, and you can see that those old control systems are no longer working. And that critical mass of awareness is creating new information in the field. And that's so important. Now, another way that death cycles withering can manifest is more win-win accessibility, not just seeing life through the lens of win or loss, winners or losers, the haves and the have-nots, which is always more obvious at an ending, but being more adept at holding the positive potentials as well all through that. Doesn't mean it all feels good. It doesn't mean it's all positivity. It's that you know you're holding both dualities at the same time. And even as you're feeling one really strongly, that other potential that you're also holding is what's weaving into that more life affirming energy. The energy of death cycles withering is also the energy of life cycles amplifying. But Ariane wanted to focus it this way so that we're aware, so that we can create that change, and we're genuinely strengthening our conduit of love rather than unconsciously avoiding, which may or may not apply to you, but unconsciously avoiding the things that are painful or the things that we just haven't been aware of so that we're holding more neutrality. So you have your supports like meditation practice, connecting with friends and family, getting out in nature, listening to music that helps you release or helps you activate more joy, holding you in that calm space, or you're doing healing work when you need some active balancing so that you can move through change as easily as possible in whatever given moment is occurring. That is part of the death cycle withering. Having ways to weave more life affirming energy into your experience, even in the challenging times. And especially as we move into the Lionsgate timeframe, which to me represents a time of creative renewal and empowerment, being offered another level of empowerment to flow our energy into this realm, supporting and anchoring those life cycles, amplifying as the world also deals with the old ways of control and power breaking down. It is a really powerful time. And As a quick reminder, I'm in Mount Shasta at the Lemurian Life Expo for the Lionsgate, August 7th through 11th. You can join that in person, you can connect online, and that first opening ceremony day is free, so I will put those links below. That also has a discount code, which is on my website as well. I'm teaching light language online in early September, and then I'm teaching crystalline soul healing online in late September for those of you that are called to learn deep and powerful healing modalities. And then finally, in November, I'm at the Channel Panel in beautiful West Virginia mountains. That is November 14th through the 16th. Info about all of that is on my website, jamieprice.com. And of course, it's in the links below as well. This is such a powerful time, and especially to gather together, to heal, and to shine your beautiful light. Now, the healing intention that I was given for this month actually does not have the words death cycle withering in it. And I was totally open to that. But Ariane wanted our awareness to be open to what's releasing, which is the death cycle withering. Those control mechanisms that hamper our creative life force are withering. Yet our intention actually represents what that also means, because the death cycle withering is life cycles amplifying, especially as we are in this blossoming of humanity. So I actually do recommend that you check in with your own resonance around things that can seem negative or harsh for you around death cycles, endings, win, lose, etc. Some of the systems that are crumbling. Work so that you have neutrality in an overall general sense. Then, when you do have to deal with variations of death cycles or endings or changes that you're going through, you're more balanced through those authentic ups and downs. The healing intention to also use throughout the month is I embrace my powerful life force. I embrace my powerful life force. Remember, I said that word force was going to come up quite a bit. And Ariane talks about the active force and the passive force, but they really wanted this in here so that we are approaching our energetics, whether that's silent or things that you are voicing into this realm, those intentions flow into the field of information. And for a death cycle withering, we want more life affirming energy flowing into this for light workers to know their power and let that love flow into this realm. Even when things are intense. I mean, you could see it stirring me up. This is not easy breezy times. And yet, as we are moving through all of these changes, what it's creating is those old control mechanisms breaking down more fully. I embrace my powerful life force. This is not the kind of force that takes control. That's not what love does. It's the kind of force that permeates. It's the kind of force that can be felt. It's going to make me klimt again. It can be felt in times of challenge. It can be felt in times of ease. This reinforces healing any of that resistance or contraction, and it amplifies your creative power in these powerful times that need your love flowing more life-affirming energy into the field of information. I embrace my powerful life force. I hope you have an amazing Lionsgate, a powerful August, and enjoy the crystalline soul healing and light language to amplify your loving, creative life force. Hemorame tani erum huak taiwaratem. Bram hurimemt au hakral ranamat inum. Bram hakuat im such umbrarat inkderat. Mnemohrap andak uama. Kramahak kawa. Nor harmia stand ukurep ancheret ukurem. Brel harkand grem utmnem suchurum. Brod akreod ukwaram. Dauranma jaurak eklel. Dem haknir reurot nan such namr hukuram bre hormat eklel kenet neasut bremahatsua tawish akrantat amnos kranshur mat bdia krem harmat wel rajastot am sukuram bremhatinem ewarat kwa krantat Psukuanak Rum shakara kandat awa Brod en suchukrorap demne wa bramek undhut sum bramah krandat anadsun sharup al ukrorat awa nem horamam at sharat ansukurund inklel remeshtet wa warana am sukur meptem sukwa rumashtai wadat bramahakwarmak and wa nson shur mema wa Mnamhat namahok kram dawah and dal ramjawar kanandat nim hawat ansach kueret hakanmo orata kuermak angay sum sharbat ndua sme shatwa sunkawa bawar aklel redema mend dum akran sharat ul renema oramak ansachurt il renim hawa